David Riccio wrote an article today in the Telly about having these wild cards coming into the semi-finals. Just to put you on the spot with these boys, it looks to me like all the wild card system is allowing a couple of more teams a chance to play finals football.
Yeah, I don't like it. Look, the fact is, I think the NRL need to understand. The NRL have gone about it this way, the way they want to sell it is rather than have a top 8, they have a top 6, and then the next 4 teams fight out for the 2 wildcard spots. And under that sell, it sounds feasible.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you've got a 16-team competition. You've got half the team making the finals. You've got the Cronulla or Gold Coast, either one falls into the finals after today. They'll go into the finals with a losing record for the season. Now, if that gets extended down to 10th, it's going to look even worse. And I know teams can get lucky, but can you imagine the embarrassment of a team that gets through in week 1, finishes 10th, jags a wild card spot, goes into the finals. Now, the 10th place team playing against what would be the 5th place team. I just think it opens up for embarrassment of the final system. But the other thing is, I think after 25 rounds, you've got to make that count for something.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there. Like, if that's the case, why have 25 rounds? Why have I know the answer. It's all revenue. It's all broadcast revenue. That's what it is. But I think there's an onus on the game to make those 25 rounds count for something. Otherwise, you may as well just have a lottery and everyone just play a round robin for 20 rounds and then we'll have everyone's in knockout system for the final 8 weeks. Like, it's just ridiculous.
It works overseas in the NFL because they've got 32 sides.
Yeah.
So when you got that number of teams, then you can afford that style of a luxury. But I'm with Kenny. I can't see how, as it is already, there's an argument that we're rewarding mediocrity with the last couple of sides that make the 8.
We are. Like, the Sharks have won 10 games from 24. It's not enough. It's embarrassing. And most in recent years, and you've got me on the spot a little bit here, but if you go back and if people want to Google it, you go back in recent years, the best a team will get generally in 8th spot is 12-12. Very few have got a winning record going in the top 8.
To your point on that, you look at Newcastle who finished 7th. They are 12-12, right? They've got a differential of minus 143.
Yeah. Like, it's embarrassing. Minus 140, which shows that. Yeah, and the other thing is, like, Cronulla are making a chance of making the 8, and in the past 2 years, the only time, the one game where they've beaten a top 8 side was when they beat Cronulla Penrith by a point during Origin this year. Last year they didn't beat a top 8 side at all. This year they've beaten one, which was a selection riddled team, Origin vacancies everywhere. Penrith side that they jagged by an extra, like a field goal at the end of the game. So, seriously, are they going to make any damage in the finals? Not a chance in hell.
In your lifetime, Paul, let's go back to, say, when we were younger, we had the top 5. Then we had, through that NRL Super League era, I think we might have gone to a top 6 for a while. Maybe once we had a top 10.
There was a top 10 of one year. It was terrible.
What's for you is the perfect number for a final series?
I like top 5. Top 5. And I think in a 16-team competition, you have a top 5. That's the top 30 comp. That's the elite end. I think that works. But the problem with the top 5 is you fall short in games. So you have 2 games the first weekend, 2 the second weekend, then 1 and 1. So there's only 6 final games, whereas this one, I think there's 10 or 11 finals games. So money-wise, you miss out there because you just don't have as many games to bring in the broadcast revenue and the crowd revenue, which goes to the NRL. So they're never going to do that, but don't cheapen it even more by going to a playoff system and wildcard system where Team 10 can, out of a 16-team, like, seriously, if you can't get your season in order after 25 rounds, if you can't sit there in the top half of the competition and you're in 10th spot, you don't deserve to play in the finals.
And then the coach of the team that finishes 10th uses it as, look, I got him to the wild card.
Yeah.
I should have another year.
It's just, but the argument will come back to that is, if you win from 10th, then you deserve to go into the finals. Well, no, you don't. Like, the 25 rounds has got to stand for something. They bust each other up for 25 hard weeks. They really
but
do.
I like the top 8. I don't mind the top 8 because if you do start the year and you do have an injury to one of your marquee players, it gives you a chance, to sneak in and then you can have a crack there. Like then some teams don't have all their players available.
But Gordon,
and it can help there, can't he?
Yeah, and that's the argument the NRL used to justify why there should be a top 8. Yeah. So you lose your players during Origin where you might drop a few games. Player might get injured. There's time to come back and all that rest that stuff. But the flying ointment as
Chris Moltisanti says,
as Chris Moltisanti, the flying ointment is essentially that no team outside has ever come from 8th to win a comp. No team from 7th has come through to win a comp. So there's no team that's actually done that. That's actually been in a position where, for unforeseen reasons during the season, they've been down on numbers and have suffered a few losses, but have come good at the finals time. They just don't do it. The good teams still find a way to finish in the top quarter of the competition.